According to Wendy Moraine in her book Dyslexia, an estimated 15% of all people are dyslexic, regardless of race, age, or gender. Dyslexia is often misunderstood because of its difference among each individual. However, after listening to my speech, you should have a better understanding of dyslexia and the people who suffer from this disorder. As my family, you all know that this language disorder hits close to home. Becoming better aware of the symptoms and some ways to improve this disorder could be helpful to us now and later on down the road. Throughout my studying of dyslexia and a lot of time spent with someone who is dyslexic, I have become more mindful of the ways that this disorder can affect the brain. By the conclusion of my speech, you should be more knowledgeable about the different causes and definitions of dyslexia, some treatment options available, and how dyslexics may benefit from this disorder. There are many different possible causes of dyslexia that should all be taken into consideration. However, we will never truly know the certain cause of each individual's dyslexic mind. Dyslexia may be defined as a phonological disorder in the brain that causes those affected to scramble letters and/or words because they are not hearing them correctly, making them less able to read and write. According to Brock and Burnett Eade in their book, The Dyslexic Advantage, problems with phonological processing has been found in at least 80 to 90% of individuals with dyslexia. Our phonological processing system has been studied to have direct impact on the way we understand words and their meanings. Dyslexia is most often blamed on genetics, and that it is usually inherited. In the words of Dr. Phyllis Brooks, who wrote the book Reversing Dyslexia, genetic brain chemistry imbalances may also cause dyslexia, such as when neurotransmitters do not work properly. Since learning to read and write relies on our basic sense of hearing, dyslexia can be blamed on the improper progression of this sense. Dyslexia has been known to run in families. Dr. Phyllis Brooks also stated in her book, Reversing Dyslexia, if one parent is dyslexic, there is a 50% chance one of the children will be too. A wide variety of treatment options are available for those with dyslexia, but each option must be specific for each person to target their easiest way of learning. The use of specialized education is said to be the most effective way of overcoming dyslexia symptoms. Different types of teaching that focus on phonics can be used when delivering this specialized education. And according to Wendy Moraine in her book, Dyslexia, these types of teachings should be individualized, multisensory, systematic, and sequential. First and foremost, those with dyslexia must be taught the letters of the alphabet and the sounds of each phoneme. Putting these sounds together to make a word can be taught by showing a picture of an object and having the student spell out the word with plastic letters and then go on to sound the letters out. This involves the multisensory part of the teachings. Being systematic and sequential helps the student to build upon what they have already learned. In Wendy Moraine's book, Dyslexia, she states that rules governing language must be taught in a logical, organized fashion. Finally, the amount of times letters and the alphabet are studied greatly affects the success of dyslexics learning the ability to read. Another treatment option available for those with dyslexia could be the use of anti-motion drugs. However, since dyslexia varies among each person, the use of this drug may not be effective for each person with dyslexia. Even though dyslexia is almost always stigmatized with being a disorder or illness, those with dyslexia also have been known to have some mental advantages over the non-dyslexic person. As Brock and Burnett Eade stated in their book, the dyslexic advantage. Dyslexia isn't just a barrier to learning how to read and spell. It's also a reflection of an entirely different pattern of brain organization and information processing. Dyslexics have been known to have the better ability of comparison and recognizing metaphors and analogies. Mechanical ability can also be a strong suit among many who are dyslexic. Creativeness and the ability to think outside the box are also common in dyslexics. This may be true because those with dyslexia tend to use their right brain more for information processing. According to Brock and Furnett-Ede in their book, The Dyslexic Advantage, the right hemisphere activates a much broader field of potential meanings, enabling the comprehension of metaphors, jokes, inferences, stories, social languages, and inconsistencies. Thomas Edison and Albert Einstein are two very important figures in our history who were dyslexic, but showed an extraordinary amount of talent by inventing some of the most widely used objects in our nation and many others. This is only a couple of out of very many famous successful people that are dyslexic. According to Norman Geschwin in his journal, Pathology of Superiority, a predisposition to dyslexia may have advantages. Many dyslexics carry remarkable talents that benefit their society enormously. Dyslexia has many different definitions and causes that makes it a topic worth discussing and learning about. Treatment holds no cure for dyslexia, but can help. Dyslexia has also shown many advantages over the non-dyslexic mind. All of these qualities make it an inspiring topic to learn about and help those with dyslexia to not be labeled by a learning disorder. Now hopefully when you think of dyslexia, there won't be any kind of stigma behind it. Instead, you will be able to see them as intelligent, successful people who just think differently than others.